of you may remember this tree from last summer, last fall. I think it was the end of August or the 1st of September when we brutalized this guy. It was in a 3-gallon container, 3.5-gallon container. We cut it down and cut the root ball down to here. So we cut the root ball in half. And as you can see, this is all this year's growth. The tree did fine. I know some of you had doubts of whether or not the tree would survive, but there you go. I've done this many times before. It's not a difficult thing for me to understand that these trees will survive that kind of treatment. Now we have to start thinking about what we're going to do with this tree. This may be a tree I may save for later on in the summer to do the styling work because I've got to do a demonstration. But there's some things that we can do. Actually, I've got like 4 more of them. Do we want a tree that's pretty much this size? So if we come from that point of view, right here is a pretty good front. But you can see right away where your problems lie. We have like a bar branch there. And as is typical with all Mugo pines, we have a ubiquitous knuckle here and a ubiquitous knuckle here. So what we need to do is to get the illusion of a tapered trunk is to cut it down some more. Now you can look, the trunk on this is pretty decent size. It's about 6 inches across the bottom, and for a tree this tall, that's impressive. Now there are several places we can cut this tree to make a decent tree out of it. We've got to take this whole top out. We know that at one point. So you can cut it here and regrow the tree from this point, or we can cut it here and regrow the tree from this branch. Or if you want to get really cute, we could look about making this tree a little bit smaller. We could cut this off, most of this, and have this as our new apex, and this also, and grow our tree from this point. That's kind of adventurous, and a lot of people would probably think, well, that might kill a tree, and you might be right, it might. But I don't think so. I just don't know that I want to go there yet, or at all. So we've got to look at this from the point of view as if we're going to take this off. What have we got to do from that point? Well, that won't really hurt the tree, so why don't we just do that? And if somehow we decide we want to do the shorter version, a little itty-bitty version, we don't have this one to deal with. So we're going to cut this tree off right here. Be nice to have that in a pot, wouldn't it? Well, there you go. So now we can work with this material. This probably means in doing that, if we use that as the new top of the tree, the new apex, we really should think about losing this one. So now we've got this and this as new branches. This we might keep, but when it's to the front, that's probably not a good idea. So we lose that one. We can keep this one for now. This one and this one. Here's where the new apex is going to go. This is going to be a new, more or less, back branch. It's very vigorous. So this one can go. And because this one's at a bar branch relationship between these two, that makes that not such a good idea. Plus the fact that it is at the inside of a curve, that makes that questionable. So, see, sometimes you start one thing and you wind up having to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's see, grown by Monrovia, Dayton, Oregon. They're good at this stuff. I didn't realize until now. In fact, if you remember our discussion last summer, I was not aware that these trees were Monrovia. So somewhere along the line, they had been changed from the method that Monrovia uses to grow trees. Okay, so what do we want to do with the rest of this? Well, this isn't going to do anything, so we'll take this off. Notice I'm leaving stubs. All of this is going to become dead wood. This as well is coming off. But we do have these little things here that kind of keep the sap flowing. So now it doesn't matter what we thought we were going to do here, we've now ruled that out. So now we're working with this as our major tree. Now, a lot of people will tell you that, well, I've never found a Mugo with a single trunk. Well, if you remember the way this one looked when we first got it, it didn't have a single trunk either. What we had was a bush with a couple of larger branches in it, and this was one of them. Can this be bent? Yes, it can, and we're going to bend it down. Can probably keep this to keep that part of the trunk from dying off with all the cutting that we've done up here. This one's going to go. And I see here that we've got a pretty substantial stump there. And here again we've removed a good portion of this tree. But a lot of this is going to stay. This is going to be bent down and around. I can't do it now without help. But this can be done. It's not that hard to do with these guys. Lock that up over there. So bring this down and down. See how that goes? Now all of a sudden we've got a whole different ballgame, don't we? Couple that with that trunk and this isn't too bad a tree. So one way to do this is going to be to put a guy wire here and connect it down onto this stub here. So I can pull that down. It'll be really interesting to see how this goes. And we may do that today. So stay tuned.